going on, y'all? About to check out this video from the More Pegasus channel that's about Hasan, one of the biggest locals that I've seen on streaming. Let's check this out. Don't forget to hit the like button and the hype button. Watch more videos and check out my live streams. That's what I said, live streams. I don't have a schedule, but I try to stream as much as possible. All right, let's go.
Welcome back to a series so peak, even Mount Everest subscribed. In today's video, Hasan is very mad after people were trying to get him arrested following the Trump shooting. He's now trying to shift blame to liberals and goes on a massive rant on how the shooter is probably from Destiny's community. He starts pulling up the shooter's tweets and claims that he's a classic right-wing centrist liberal and insists it's definitely not a Hasan fan. He can't help but say that he actually agrees with the shooter on a lot of things and calls it woke terrorism. That's a new one. The terrorism is woke. A chatter then asks Hasan if he would flee America to avoid prosecution if the shooter was a Hasan fan. He says he'd never leave. He reacts to a video by Kulinski saying how the shooting is a false flag, with possibly the worst evidence known to man and literally random tweets. Even Hasan points out it makes no sense, but that he doesn't care about the lies because it's good for his agenda. Really principled as always. Hasan is crashing out at YouTubers Abba and Preach for calling out his viral take, calling gamers loser incels.
And mind you, I'm not even a fan of Abba and Preach no more. I used to watch them, but then I felt like there's certain things to where they were overdoing it. And they're like picking whatever side is more popular these days, but whatever. Let's see what's going down. I'm gonna be unbiased.
Subscribe or you get an Aristotle lecture. Too late. Modern society wants you to chase hedonia, you fool. The short-term pleasure, the comfort, the enjoyment, the constant dopamine. Reject.
A lot of philosophers were predicting the future, bro. There's this one guy, I forgot his name, but he came up with the term of angst that a lot of people use for anxiety and things like that. Damn, he got certain philosophies about mainstream media where he's going in. And mainstream media wasn't really like even a thing. He was just ahead of his time within thinking. It's crazy.
Seek deeper human flourishing. Eudaimonia. Long-term satisfaction driven by purpose and meaning and struggle that is ultimately worth it. Oh, your God.
That's nice. People can't say he's not original. His dude Pegasus is original as hell.
Now let's begin. Right, so last time Hasan was absolutely crashing out after everyone was trying to get him arrested following the Trump shooting. He was screaming at liberals saying they need to stop going after him or he's going to get put in a concentration camp, which is basically prison.
See you in the goddamn concentration camps. All right, buddy? We're all going there. If you don't lock the in.
Yeah, so he just says camps because it sounds more Nazi-ish and fascist, I guess. But I'd say going to prison for inciting violence is pretty normal, I'd say. Anyways, Hasan is finally doing his breaking coverage of the shooter's motives. And it's pretty cut and dry. It was a Kamala supporter, a Blue Sky user, No Kings protest guy, obviously a lefty who hates Trump and wants him dead. So very simple line of reasoning here. But now the question is, what kind of lefty? Is it a Hasan fan or a Destiny fan? And Hasan is basically doing every single thing he can to make sure that he is not to blame and that every other lefty but him is actually the bad guys.
A relative of the suspected shooter called police before last night from the White House Correspondents Association dinner incident. The suspect's writings clearly stated he wanted to target Trump admin officials. Another family member who was interviewed by investigators after the attack said Cole Allen had a tendency to make radical statements and his rhetoric constantly referenced the plan to do something to fix the issues of today's world. More here on his firearms training and left-wing groups he was involved with. Left-wing groups he was involved with is crazy, by the way, because I don't think he's involved with any left-wing groups. He just went to a No Kings rally. But it's unbelievable that everyone from NPR down to right-wing broadcasts like Fox News are now saying, oh, he went to a No Kings rally, so that was a left-wing mobilization. He gave $25 to Kamala Harris's election, and he went to the No Kings rally. You're out of your mind if you think that this is any sort of like leftist organizing. It's so stupid. Yeah. Also, for those of you who are asking if this is one of ours, he's not. He was another Ryan Ruth type almost. It seems. I don't think he was. He's not from this community. They found his Twitch account. He doesn't even follow me. He doesn't even hate follow me. They said he's a part of the left wing group called Wide Awakes. Yeah, he's like more of a Stancelite than anything. Wide Awakes is the most nerdy liberal thing you can ever think of.
Right. So it's
like the people that was arguing with me in the live chat. The other live stream that we did, man, that was talking about you need to be woke.
Setting the foundation here. If he was an imposter in Among Us, he would be marinating right now. So basically, he starts off by saying that, oh, it's a lefty. I can't lie this time. I can't say it's a Asmongold right-winger Israel MAGA fan or whatever. The evidence is pretty clear. But the thing he wants you to understand is that he's the bad lefty. He's not the good kind, right? The good kind is a fan of Hasan, worships him. But he wants you to know that this guy, this radical nutjob, is obviously someone who hates Hasan, right? Hated everything he stood for, because Hasan does not stand for political violence, obviously. So then he goes into complete desperation mode of, I was right all along. All liberals are evil except the radical lefties who support Hasan, right? We must all become communist immediately or you're going to get these outcomes. And he brings up Destiny.
Pre-woke? No, he's woke for sure. Anyway, yeah, he's reposted anti-U posts on Blue Sky. He's a Ukraine NATO liberal. I know. Yeah, he was really annoyed with the left. He's another one of those like anti-communist. He's another one of those anti-communist NATO liberals. That's what it is. I don't care. I'm not gonna sit here and blame Destiny and like Dylan Burns for this shooting. Okay, because I'm not a idiot. Just so you understand, I'm just giving you what the information is because I'm not a opportunist asshole. Just so you understand. Why not? They're blaming you because they're stupid. That's why a guy from their community, from their fandom conducted this, and they think this is a great opportunity because they're stupid.
This man just say, I'm not going to blame them. I wouldn't say it was someone from their community. It was definitely not mine. It was theirs. But I'm not going to say that. But it was theirs. He's bugging out. Hey, Harley, how you doing?
They think this is a great opportunity to lean into the Republican mania right now, even though the dude is most likely from their community and hates me. Yeah, if I was a dumb, I would do the thing that they're doing right now and be like, oh, Destiny has said heinous things about, unbelievably violent things about Donald Trump and the Republican movement. They should actually yell at him instead. Yeah, because I have.
You both have. Y'all two sides of the same coin, actually. Right? Y'all both nasty. If I had to just give my opinion. Hey, what's up, Scott? How are you? If I just had to give my opinion, Hasan, Piker, and Destiny, both equally as disgusting when it comes to their actions.
Principles.
Of course, Hasan Piker has principles, guys. I totally forgot. He's a man of virtue, a man of morality, very deep-rooted values, the arbiter of morality itself. I find it hilarious that Hasan goes, I'm not going to sit here and blame Destiny. Only a horrible person would do that. 2 seconds later, a guy from their community did this.
Facts, that sounded crazy. It sounded wild as hell. I'm glad he pointed that out also. Because what? You just said you wasn't going to blame them, but then you blamed them directly after.
And they're blaming me for it. Oh my God. You guys just attempted an assassination. Somebody from your community just did it. And you're blaming me, innocent old Hasan, innocent little communist, innocent little dictator supporter, the most innocent dog shocker in the entire world. Look,
Crazy.
guys, he retweeted some vague shit. He's definitely a Destiny fan. I don't know, Hasan. It really seems like you're trying to blame them. Also, let me just explain why he's not explicitly pushing for Destiny to be arrested and put in prison for inciting violence. Because he knows that right after him, Hasan is basically up next, right? They are basically in this together despite being mortal enemies. That is the only reason why he's not being explicit with it. Do not fall for this bullshit of, oh my God, he's just moral. He's just virtuous. He just wants to stand by his principles. He would never associate the creator with something their community does. No, Hasan, you just know you're on the chopping block. In fact, you're first in line, I feel like. So then he continues his rant saying that the shooter was such a centrist, a mainstream liberal. Basically, all the people that he's been screaming at all this time, all the regular liberals who want to cancel him, he's saying that this shooter comes from their community. He's basically saying, oh, the liberals are ruining the country, but I, Hasan, am the savior of the liberals, right? I am the leftist, the lefty flank, the socialist savior of humanity itself.
Crazy.
Okay. They're throwing everything at this guy for sure, because if he actually had all the guns, if he actually pre-planned it, like this is pretty clear cut, open and shut case, right? An attempted assassination, an attempted political assassination. It's just not, he obviously had TDS and an incurable disease transmitted through the Hasan broadcast. Yeah, it's really funny that he's the suspect is not a fan of mine. As a matter of fact, he was a blue sky liberal. Was the type of blue sky liberal who hates me because they think I'm like pro Adolf Putler. Yeah, if you scroll down, this dude is not a fan of you, lol. Yeah, this is his account. He's pro NATO. I'm anti NATO. Not that it matters. Look. This is his account. I spent a lot of time in countries where graft and grifting are the norm, and I assure you it is truly immense cost to prevent that from taking hold in our society. You do not want to live in that kind of society. I think that we should simply run on prosecuting the rich for their crimes instead of creating a low-trust society. He was in the right-wing liberal contingency of Hasan is a malignant force on American politics.
Look, guys, he was a right-wing liberal, a centrist Democrat. I swear, it wasn't a Hasan fan. I find this hilarious. Like, he is desperately trying to shift the blame. Like, nobody's even saying it's a Hasan fan.
Yeah, he's trying very hard to prove that it wasn't connected to him at all, even though he said some of the nastiest things that would promote his fans or people that hear him who have the same beliefs to do some of the most extreme, crazy stuff. But he's playing innocent and trying to use this as a, hey, look, guys, when they say it's me and my rhetoric and how I speak and whatnot, that's causing this. Look, there's a case where it wasn't.
But he knows that everybody's just targeting him. People are generally, just going after Hasan, not because of this, but because of his general sort of rhetoric, threatening to murder his opponents, telling his...
That's crazy. Yo, me and Morpekers is eye to eye with it. I have not watched this video before. I'm watching it for the first time with you guys. That's great.
Fans to, K. Rick Scott, etc., etc. Like, we know that this specific incident isn't connected to you, but we know that you also generally sort of foment this type of violence. But Hasan obviously intentionally misunderstands and tries to say that, oh, they're trying to tie this shooter specifically to me, right? When it's a symptom of like a broader sort of general culture that you're inspiring, where assassinations are okay, breaking the law is perfectly fine, stealing is okay, as long as it's done to rich people, basically. So assassinations, like murder, is okay because the target is somebody who's in a position of power, like a CEO or a president, etc., etc. And it's just broken logic. As we know, we went over that whole thing where Hasan was justifying sort of murder because CEOs commit social murder by maybe a restaurant denying food to somebody who wants it for free or whatever. And obviously that's a omega slippery slope.
Brian Thompson, as the United Healthcare CEO, was engaging in a tremendous amount of social murder, the systematized forms of violence. So many people immediately understand why this death had taken place.
So anyways, his evidence that it's not a Hasan fan is that there's like some retweets of essentially saying that Hasan is a grifter, right? And I mean...
I'm saying it in the live chat too. Hasan's rich. What the hell is he talking about? Why would you be saying stuff like this when you're rich as well? Yeah, one of the rich. It's because it's part of his grift. His fans don't even think about that.
Yeah, fair point or whatever. Nobody
Champagne socialists.
was saying it was a Hasan fan, but I feel like some of your fans also do kind of tweet that shit too. Like, aren't you arguing with your own like 50-month subscribers every day who try to disagree with you and say something that's slightly different, and then you crash out at them? But yeah, I mean, this whole situation is just really convenient for him because now he has an excuse to say that actually, I'm not the radical, right? It's the centrist liberals that are the radicals. We leftists, who are quite literally on the furthest fucking left possible, we're actually the peaceful people. We only talk about murder. We don't actually do it, of course. We only talk about buying explosive ordnance mechanisms from China. We don't actually do it, of course. We only spam HUT for terrorists and, encourage this shit. But we don't actually do it, of course. Yet. Then for some bizarre reason, Hasan cannot stop himself, and he insists that he actually really agrees with the shooter on a lot of points. And he comes up with possibly the greatest phrase of all time, woke terrorism.
But the thing is, or the suspect, the shooter, the suspect, whatever you want to call him. Like, there are also plenty of things that he said that I also agree with. You know what I mean? It's not like he's not like a rabid anti-communist either. He's just like a regular lib. And it's important to understand that a regular liberal with decent credentials, like that was a mechanical engineer that did a internship at NASA, when that guy is the one who's planning out an assassination on the president and the entire cabinet, you have to understand that. You have to interpret that as a sign of the times. It's just, it's clear that there is so much instability and chaos in people's lives that you got motherfuckers who are mechanical engineers doing this shit. It's not just like people with antisocial personality disorder with like no prospects for a future. You got people taking matters in their own hands that have a future, because Luigi Mangione also was like talking about previous attempts on how he would target like the United Healthcare CEO or a healthcare CEO in general. And he said like, oh, I don't want to actually do a bomb, like an improvised explosive device, because like it will kill too many random people. This is in line with the same mentality. Again, another STEM lord, allegedly, by the way, Luigi Mangione, allegedly, looking to be more precise, somewhat of a woke.
It's like he pretty much putting them on pedestals or something. Like he's saying people should be like them. Like he's saying he's a hero or something. Something is wrong with Hasan.
Terrorism. This is woke terrorism again.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. It was simply a case of woke terrorism. I mean, Hasan really invents the best fucking phrases I've ever heard in my life. So you see the terrorist attack. It was simply woke. It was done with woke motives in mind. You see, woke terrorism, actual fucking comedy. Everything is woke now. It wasn't a regular terrorist. It was a woke one, because the woke one is actually really virtuous and moral. Like, they didn't want to kill the bystanders. They only wanted to kill the evil people in the administration, the evil government. But also the shooter, I'm pretty sure, said that they would kill anybody who that like got in the way as well. Which basically means that they weren't like a woke terrorist or whatever. They were just a psychopath, mentally ill freak, like all of these shooters are. But I love this fucking desperate attempt to sort of humanize the terrorists and the shooters, be like, they might have been a terrorist, but, in some sense, they were actually woke. They were actually really woke, right? They cared about the people. They didn't want to hurt bystanders. And the best part, Hasan actually agrees with him on a lot of things. Amazing. You just really felt the need to point that out, right? So then a chatter asked Hasan that if the shooter was actually a Hasan fan, would Hasan flee the country? Would Hasan finally, for the love of God, finally leave America, right?
He is 100p, big time anti-communist. Based on Iowa predicting Kamala wins all swing states and at least 3 red states. Retweeted by Midas Touch breaking, Taylor Swift endorses VP Kamala Harris. Scott Jennings is blaming you on CNN right now? Buddy, this guy hated me. This guy hated my ass, it seems. Oh my Lord. Scott Jennings can chirp all day, every day. This guy is not one of mine at all. If he turned out to be a Hasan Abiheh, would you have left the country? No, of course not, because that's not how things work. Like, these people will try their very best to be like, oh, Hasan is a violent radical. He's dangerous rhetoric. But like okay. At the end of the day, we still haven't reached.
I say, you about to lie again? About to act like you not putting out dangerous rhetoric? We playing pretend? Word, son? Like, I dare you.
A point where, the administration, it might get there, but we're not currently there where the administration would be like, oh, your clips out of context are actually invitations for violence. Like in a court of law, stuff like that is totally protected. Tying that back to someone like myself, even if he was a fucking fan, would be unbelievable.
Of course, how could I be so naive? It's free speech. Hasan's speech is protected in a court of law. What court? It's the court of fucking clowns, that's what. I mean, can we get like a fact check on that, fellas? Any lawyers in the audience? I know I got a bunch of lawyers watching. I mean, surely the Rick Scott clip, right?
Got a bunch of Better Call Saul joints. Which is Better Call Saul lawyers checking it out.
That can't be protected by free speech because aren't you specifically mentioning one person and giving justification why they should be killed, and they are a political opponent that you hate and you likely do want dead because you believe in the concept of social murder, believe they've probably committed this? I don't know. I feel like you could easily make a case for why Hasan is inciting violence, right? And also, they're not going to look at that in isolation. That's going to be coupled with all the other clips you've made about, murdering capitalists or whatever. I feel like, some things he could possibly get away with, like the threat on Ethan's wife or whatever, because, he cloaked it in like, well, I'm actually talking about the Palestinian resistance or your favorite podcaster's wife, which, reasonably could not be Ethan's wife. Obviously, he's talking about Ethan, but like some fucking sleazy lawyer could probably defend him, right? But I really feel like the Rick Scott clip that's a tough one. That's a tough one, I will say.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott.
Also, how hilarious is it that the chatter is
Yes, dude. Yo, something is wrong with Hasan. Something wrong with Twitch too, because they just letting that rock.
Yeah.
You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, yeah. You know your name.
Thinking of ways to save Hasan once he inevitably gets caught, because even they realize that yes, somebody in Hasan's chat is probably going to commit an act of terrorism, right? They understand this, and this is like a given for them. They're like, okay, Hasan, so when that actually happens, what are you going to do about it, right? We need to save you, obviously, save the Messiah, save the leader here. So they're telling him to flee the country, and I feel like that's one of the only ways ever to get Hasan to leave America.
You gonna go to Cuba? Yeah, that would be nuts.
Voluntarily, right? But I feel like that might be the one case in which Hasan is sort of remotely patriotic. I know he's like a coward piece of shit and he probably wouldn't go to prison or whatever, obviously. Like, he'll tell all these other people to go to prison, but he wouldn't go there himself. But like, he's also kind of obsessed with staying in America. So I don't know, I hope he's delusional enough to think that his like fan base will break him out or something and he just chooses to take the sentence. But yeah, between the options of like deport him, arrest him, or just have him run away by himself right after, one of his fans gets caught doing terrorism, I feel like the arrest him option is definitely the best, because once you deport him, he would just infect the rest of the world. Like, he's not going to stop streaming. Like, a bunch of people are still going to be watching him, right? He's just going to start streaming in another country. And worst case scenario, he might even come over to where I'm at, bro. Although I feel like he'd be instantly arrested here. Let's be honest. All right. You're not really allowed to.
I was going to say, you'll have a hard time. For real. You said he'll be popular in prison? Oh no, I can't imagine. Yeah, I could imagine that. He definitely be a pass around. He said nasty work, and there's something wrong with his supporters. To gotta be brain broken to support such horrible things. Word up, though. I think is that because he says the regular talking points for whatever political ideology they believe in, they would ignore all the other crazy stuff that he's saying. It's either that or they're just as crazy. they are equally as nuts. So they like are giving a thumbs up while he says the most crazy and disgusting things. They're like, yeah, we believe that too. Bunch of sickos. So it's one of the two things.
A fucking glazed terrorist, or at least I don't think so. Never tried that, obviously. But yeah, I feel like the free speech defense only really works in America, right? Back in the Hasan comment section, I don't know why I do this to myself. I will not be rage baited by the news. Left-wing groups. I will not be rage baited by the news. No King's protest. I will not be rage baited by the news. $25 to Kamala Harris. Okay, so this is basically implying that it was not a left-wing person, which is like, how much fucking terminal copium do you have to do? Like, I get it. Politics is a team sport game. You need to always support your side no matter what. I get it. But also, how do you deny like objective fucking reality? At a certain point, isn't it more important to be honest? To show that, hey, I'm actually a reasonable person and I should be taken seriously in politics or whatever. But like when you're just so blatantly dishonest, even Hasan is admitting that it's like a left-wing person, right? Even though initially he was instantly saying, oh my God, his own fans are shooting him. It's a MAGA supporter or whatever, which is obviously like the strategy you would do to win in politics. But like, it's so blatant, man. Like there's a fucking donation. I don't understand. I mean, these were the same people who were saying the person with the trans boyfriend was actually just a radical right-winger, obviously. Just unbelievable dishonesty. Chat, is this a recession indicator? Who's more likely to try and shoot the president? A leftist who understands historical materialism as an explanatory framework for how we got here. Oh my fucking God. Can we read this line again? A leftist who understands historical materialism as an explanatory framework for how we got here. This is such a fucking pseudo-intellectual, regarded Hasan fan. I can instantly tell, like, even if this wasn't in like a Hasan Piker comment section, anyone who talks like this would like, oh my God, I'm using big words. I'm so smart. Shut the fuck up. Okay.
That's funny as hell. It definitely did sound like that too as well. What's up, Grish? Hasan's another typical rich wannabe politician, sending others to do his dirty work while claiming it's for peace. He'll eventually fly too close to the sun and burn his reputation permanently. I agree with that. That sounds like his future for sure.
So what they're saying, who's more likely to shoot the president, a leftist or a liberal who thinks everyone is fine until 2016 when Trump cast a spell to ruin the country and everything will magically be better once he's gone? Okay, so they're basically saying it's a liberal who did this. It's one of the Ethan fans, Destiny fans, regular liberal fans. It's definitely...
Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing?
Not a Hasan fan, right? By the way, Destiny fan.
Destiny and Hasan are equally as nasty, bro. They both wilding out here. Both saying the most disgusting things.
It's also not regular liberal fans. I will say they're fucking nuts too. But yeah, basically attempting to, shift blame as always, right? From Blue Sky of all places, this is what happens when brunch becomes unaffordable. Sad to see a preventable tragedy like this. Yeah, I'm sure that if you shoot Trump, surely the grocery prices will go back to normal. So the person who did a stupid, ineffective thing is a person with stupid, ineffective beliefs. Wow, I'm so shocked. This is my shocked face. Far leftists have community. It's what we're constantly yelling about. Join your unions, talk to your neighbors. We're not the ones lone wolfing it out there. So you admit you guys are far leftists. Are you actually kidding me? Like, if anyone admitted they're like a far right person, like a radical right winger, they'd instantly call the Nazi. Yet here you are in the Hasan Piker comment section, openly admitting you're a far leftist, a radical leftist fucking freak, terrorist supporter, Hasan Piker supporter, crazy, dog shocker enabler. Assassinate me one time, shame on you. Assassinate me twice, can't put the blame on you. What does this even mean? Secret Services shot all 5 bullets in the ceiling like they do at the range, but this is a trick that forces the adversary to take all their clothes off and lay on the ground. He had to surrender and absolutely not use any of the weapons he bought. checks out. Another false flag comment? Are we seeing another false
They're
flag comment
saying-
after Hasan literally admitted even he tried to quell his fucking idiotic fan base and tried to make them stop believing the lies, even they won't go for it? You need to be lucky every single time. We just need to be lucky one. Right, so this is again referring to assassinate Trump, so this is in support for the assassination. Hilarious to think that Hasan is too radical, but also try to murder the president. Do you do English, man? Do you do English? Do you how do English? He's a teacher, and yet 0 of his students have posted anything on social media. Like, come the fuck on. Another false flag comment? I don't know what the implication is. Like, they really want me to understand what they're saying. What do you mean? Like, students would be posting about their teachers? Some people don't give a fuck about their teacher. I certainly didn't about a lot of my teachers. Weakest false flag ever. We're still with the shit. Hilarious that they try to do everything to explain or shame the would-be assassin, but don't address why there's never been a more targeted president in U.S. history. Trump is hated. I know.
So? I don't give a damn. That don't make it okay. Like, when people say that, that's what it sounds like they're trying to say. So y'all don't want to talk about why people hate Trump? I don't give a damn. That should not have happened. That's out of pocket just because you don't like somebody? That don't sound crazy to you?
Nobody's arguing that. He is pretty hated. But of course you would shame the would-be assassin. What the fuck? You want people to not shame the assassin? There's so much here to indicate this is a psyop and not a good one. Workers of the world unite. May Day is coming, of course. Workers and Hasan. Anyway, so then Hasan reacts to a video by Kyle Kulinski. This is another grade A regard Hasan Glazer who just constantly defends him at any chance. And basically, this guy made a 40-minute video about why the shooting is a false flag. And the evidence in this video is probably the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. He basically talks about those Twitter accounts who like predicted this several years ago. Oh my God. And oh my God, their banner has an image that changes into the Trump assassination. And it's obviously completely set up to fool a bunch of dumbass sheep like him. And he just takes it completely seriously. Or maybe he doesn't believe anything he says and is just pushing this on people. And it is so dumb that even Hasan had to call it out.
32 seconds until you hear the shots and they grab Trump and pick him up to move him. 32 seconds. Now, people in the audience were reacting, going under tables and whatnot. But before they moved the president, it was 32 seconds. Okay. Very bizarre, very strange.
By and large, I think it's just a radical centrist, liberal guy who got so mad at Trump for being a head, who thinks if you kill Trump, you all of a sudden like fix American politics or something because he's a liberal.
This one is kind of crazy. According to Cole,
none of these are crazy. These are gimmick accounts. Accounts write different names, like random names and random dates on Twitter. They do it all the time, random predictions, and then they delete everything else. Like, I feel like even if this account didn't do that, like Cole Allen is an unbelievably common name. You just not ready, dude? Okay, so I'm going to stop ruining the fun. I mean, I said this the night of. I feel like it's just no fun. Okay. It's real. They got Cole Allen. They spread the clues all around, like this one Groyper account. They spread all the clues around so that we can all figure it out. There's probably an inside guy who was like, oh no, there's going to be another attempted assassination that was foiled years later. So I should just put this government agent who we tapped into 4 years ago. Let's just put his name out there on this random anonymous Groyper profile.
We don't even need to get into this, but then you also have, do you see the banner for this Twitter thing here? Apparently, if you take this and you adjust it in one of the editing programs, it looks like sort of like a modern art piece, but it really is a picture of the Trump shooting. If you change it in editing software, like the core of it is the picture of the Trump shooting.
What?
You're going, hold on, wait a second. The timeline here doesn't.
Yeah, that's.
I was gonna say that sounds nuts. It sounds like you could turn anything into that if you're using AI software. You're using AI software. The hell? So I don't know if that's. I don't know what the hell that's about. Is that what? Oh no.
No, that wasn't the case. They probably added that after the fact.
Is that like some new thing? Or is it like you got to use AI to decode it? You can use AI to manipulate it to be there as well, right? Or am I misunderstanding? I don't know.
Something if that's even real at all. I don't even think that was the actual banner when we looked at Henry Martinez's account. Cause on his Candace. I mean, have fun with it. I think it's good to have fun.
Just have fun, bro. Just have fun. Just have a good time. So let me get this straight. They're talking about an actual attempted assassination, knowingly spreading complete misinformation and lies just to have fun, right? Spreading complete, provably false conspiracy theories, lying to your entire audience, and most of them believe this shit.
Yeah, it's nasty as hell. I gotta do it. We got a double tap. I got a double.
Yeah.
You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, yeah. You know your name.
Man, they wilding out. Just having fun. What?
Because they're dumb as rocks and they're politically brain rotted. They want to believe just one certain thing. Of course, it's a Twitter account from 10 years ago that predicted this exact day. Surely that's not manufactured. Surely that's not somebody just trying to mess with you. Surely this happens for every fucking event, not like we've seen this like a million times before. By the way, this video has like 400k views as well. So this guy just openly lies and divides people more and more. Tries his best to foment more hate, divide the country more, set it on fire, just to have fun. And then Hasan watches this, goes, yep, hilarious. I know it's completely false. I know this is bullshit, but he's having fun. Let him do it. And these are the people that claim to report the truth. This is where people legitimately get their info. They're watching like 5 to 10 videos a day of the most like unhinged shit, the straight up lies. I mean, at least we're telling the truth here. These people are beyond shameless. And I don't say this often, but, respect to Hasan for somewhat calling this out, although he's not going to push back at all because, he knows that this is very useful to his like side and his politics or whatever. But I find it hilarious. He points out to his audience, hey, guys, this is most likely bullshit. But, fuck it. Let's just ride. Let's just ride with the shit because it's really convenient for me. Let's just have.
Lying is OP. That's what he believes. Lying is OP, bro. Have fun. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Fun. And it's like a real serious political event as well. And it's like, this is how they're reporting the story by lying about it. I totally stand Kyle and Hasan being the dynamic duo of online leftism. Oh my yuck. Hollywood-ass assassination attempt. Joe Rogan of the left reacting to the Alex Jones of the left. Calling Hasan the Joe Rogan of the left is so insane. Dark woke is back, baby. This is the cringy statement known to man. Moving on to Hasan crashing out at YouTubers Abba and Preach for making a video calling him out for calling gamers loser incels.
I don't think wanting to be a dad is weird. Oh my God. Do you guys not have any other fucking content? Jesus Christ, get off my dick, bro. Holy shit. How many more years of this like reluctantly attacking Hasan and then agreeing with his fucking primary focus reluctantly 2 years after the fact are we going to do over and over?
First of all, even if they agree with your points, I don't mean that they have to agree with you. You could argue your points in a very toxic way that they don't find appealing. If you like the normal talking points, you can't disagree with me. It sounds stupid, first of all. And I don't even like Abba and Preach for real. I don't watch them like that no more.
Over again. No, they're not. I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't think it's weird to want to be a dad, man. I'm talking shit about gamers, okay? Capital G gamers. Who are like weirdo fucking white supremacist incels who are like, yeah, this game is going to repopulate the planet.
You offended the pedos and the capital G gamers and the incels? Yeah, what they're offended by, I think, primarily is...
I love how first it started with gamers and now it's just incels and...
Yeah, dude, you got me. I was actually fucking attacking every gamer on the planet. Like, man, this is low budget bullshit. I don't even want to fucking entertain it, okay? Again... I can't explain this to you guys enough. I got fucking government ops, okay? I got the entire propaganda apparatus of the nation state of Israel inside of my fucking asshole. I got like 55 different articles being...
Pause. pause. Extra pause. Why do you always have to bring in somewhere that's around that?
Written about me on a daily fucking basis on Fox News. I'm sorry. I'm not going to have to, I don't want to have a back and forth with Abbott and fucking Preach, okay, over what they misunderstood about my take.
I think they're bigger than him too. That's the crazy part. If I'm not mistaken, their average per video like demolishes his average for damn sure.
Where it's like,
Bro, this guy, he's got the entire nation state of Israel after him, guys. It's in his walls, it's underneath his skin, it's up his butt, Israel everywhere. He has 55 articles written about him every day. Some may or may not be glazing his chest hairs. He doesn't have time for small-time fries. Small fries. Like Abba and Preach, but he does have time for slop tubers, does have time for Asmongold. Bro, Hasan always tries to act like he's above all of this, you know. He's not there to spend his time on petty internet drama while spending 90% of his time literally crashing out about this stuff. And I don't know why he's acting like, oh my God, he's got places to be, things to do. Bro, you spend all of your time on Twitter. We can literally see it. Don't act like you gotta be somewhere, man. Hasan goes, I'm busy, bro. I don't have time for this. I don't have time to play Pragmata like you fucking loser incel. I gotta read some tweets. I gotta get cucked by more men. Hell yeah. Bro, you had a dumbass take. I don't know why he wouldn't just like admit it, be like, hey, you know, I probably shouldn't have said that. I probably worded it wrong. I probably, you know, was a little...
Yeah, I was wilding out. I was overboard. Went a little too crazy. Went very crazy. My bad. I don't think he would ever be able to do nothing like that. Take accountability.
Salty or whatever. But he always does this. He doubles down and then he wonders, why the hell are people still harping on him? This shit has been going on for like several days now.
oh, I guess he's backtracking to incels now. You know? Yeah, I am, dude. You fucking caught me. I got so embarrassed that I was shitting on every gamer, every man, actually. Every man that wants to be a father, I was shitting on them, and you caught me because you're fucking brilliant. God forbid you misunderstood the original take that I was making. God forbid. That's never a perspective with any of these guys, okay? No one on the internet ever does this thing where they're like, hold on, let me see what he means. No, I've already...
Including you. I would say more so you.
Been established as a fucking villain for a lot of these dudes, okay? For a lot of these dudes. And it does so well on the algorithm that they just go, yeah, I'm a professional misunderstander of the point that he's making. God forbid you
professionally crying right now. Tearing up.
Agree with me, you know? You only agree with me maybe 2 years after the fact, you know?
Bro is so mad all the time. He's mad all the time. Dude, you gotta check your blood pressure or something. It cannot be healthy to crash out this much, man. It's so funny. Like, he just sips his fucking drink. He always has something. Always sipping something, eating something, stuff in his ass. Tubby ass mother flipper. Notice how I'm actually never eating anything in my videos, alright? Maybe because I can actually put the fork down for 5 seconds. Also, the audacity to say that they're misunderstanding my takes. Brother, you're a professional misunderstander. That's what you do for a career. You can't cry when it happens to you. Not to mention, your take was pretty clear. You should have just admitted that it's a shitty take instead of trying to defend yourself over and over and doubling down. But you can never just do the logical thing. That's an odd reaction to 2 black YouTubers reacting to you. Weird. Play it!
I don't give a fuck what black people care about. Oh, black people care about this. Black people care about that. Like, shut the fuck up. You don't understand black people. Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry. It's just too funny. It's just too funny.
Nah, that is pretty funny. Like, damn. What did black people do to you?
Classic Hasan cycle. Has a horrendous take, claims it was out of context or misunderstanding, never clarifies position, cries about it, says it doesn't matter because of Israel. It really had literally all of that. Never ask Hasan to address anything because he has more important things. He has to capture the moon. He has to fight the entire nation state of Israel. His evolution into a lolcow has to be studied. We are studying it actively. I have a fucking PhD in this shit. If Hasan wants to stop taking him out of context, then maybe you should wise up and stop making sweeping generalized statements. All it takes is the most minor pushback and he'll cry and shit himself like a child. This is the guy meant to save young men. Bro, if you're a young man watching him, you're literally gonna turn out to be a terrorist. Every single time. Anyways, apparently Hasan has been tweeting a bunch of shit. If the president doesn't want to be called a Nazi, perhaps he should stop behaving like one. This is hilarious because if you don't want to be called a terrorist, perhaps you should stop behaving like one, right? If you don't want to be called a dog abuser, perhaps you should stop behaving like one. Like this logic just backfires like crazy. If you acted like a Nazi, you wouldn't be able to speak your bullshit. I mean, does he know if Hasan exists? I don't know. He probably watches like Fox, which does talk about Hasan, right? Just be thankful you're in America. Why try to tear down the platform that allows you the freedom to speak your mind? Russia needs you. He made this tweet: back in the day, cyber stalking or A-logging was cordoned off to weird incel forums. Bro, you're getting like a Casey-tron streak with the amount of incels here. Nowadays, you have straight up content creators egging it on in their communities, making their own personal project of envy into entertainment or even a political strategy. Well, yeah, it is fun to shit on you. You're literally a Candace Owens fan. You should shit this one out. You watch Bad Banana docs everyone involved with Progressive Victory on stream. To live audience, please shut the fuck up. Spider-Man meme. You literally dox an entire group of people. Whatever you say, select the great leader Hasan. Off to free the peons from capitalism. Back in the day, terrorist supporters were arrested. Their connection grows. Oh, goated animation. Remember when Hasan read deranged schizo posts from Destiny's actual stalkers on his stream? Now click this video to start your group.
Yeah, Hasan's a loser. Hey, yo. I didn't read that last part, Harley. That's great. That's what it sounded like he was describing too. Choo choo. Choo choo. But yeah, Hasan is definitely nasty. He just, every time he speaks, he says something ridiculous. But that's just my opinion. Tell me what yours is down in the comment section. Hit the hype button. Join up for memberships if you're able to. Also, check out my live streams.